Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this Mother's Day special episode, we're going to be talking about that topic that all mothers have a very soft spot for.
BDSM.
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh.
Which, well, it does kind of touch on BDSM.
It doesn't just touch on it, does it? It's pretty... Anyway, that's for later.
Yeah, that's that section that you all like, called Culture Swap. But before that, we've got the section that everyone's indifferent to, Catching Up with Jack and Liam.
We should point out, listeners, that this episode is going to be completely mother-friendly.
Yeah, before this is the sort of episode where if you're thinking, I like the Nerd on Nerd podcast, if only I could show it to my mum so she could see what I spend my time doing and be proud of me, this is the episode for you.
Just to demonstrate how I'm going to be keeping this whole show mother-friendly, I'm going to say some swear words, Liam. But when the listeners listen to it, all those swear words will be beeped out. It. Bananas. There we go.
So yeah, so you're actually going to censor us, are you?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just going to try to not swear.
We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, first thing first then, what have you got planned for Mother's Day?
Nothing.
She's a lucky lady.
We give her presents.
Oh, what are you giving her? Are you allowed to say, or
No, I'm not going to say on the podcast.
is she going to listen before Mother's Day?
Maybe not, but I don't want to say it in case she does.
Okay. So
What are you getting your mum?
I haven't actually got her any presents because...
Oh, sorry. Whoa. Hold your... Damn it. Hold your horses.
Yeah?
Nearly swore.
My horses are held.
You had a go at me for not doing anything with my mum, but you're not even getting her anything.
Yeah, right, because I'm doing stuff with her. She gets the
Oh,
present...
what are you doing?
She gets the present of spending time with me because this is what she wants to do. So she wants us to go to Southampton and look at skiing clothes and stuff. So maybe if she sees like a nice pair of gloves or something that she likes, maybe I'll treat her. I've got her card, and
Yeah.
I'll treat her to like a nice lunch out, but I don't have her like any present or anything because I don't really know what she wants.
I mean, Mother's Day, you just sort of get flowers or something.
Yeah, but she's kind of coming here, so then flowers, like, I can't exactly get them delivered to her because she's going to be here.
Just give them to her when she gets to yours.
Yeah, but she's not going to want to have to drive like an hour back with like flowers all over the place.
She probably would.
Nah, honestly, I'll get a pair of gloves or something. That way, I don't
Wow,
like...
you're so thoughtful.
Here's the thing, Jack. I don't like getting flowers as a present because I don't like the idea of giving someone something that they then have to be responsible for. And it's just going to die eventually anyway.
Right. I mean, you're not meant to buy your mum presents based on what you think is the thing, Liam.
I get that, but...
Because your mum wouldn't get flowers and go, I can't believe my son gave me the gift of death. Inevitable death.
You never know. That's how I would react if I was given flowers. I prefer to give gifts where they're going to get some use out of them. Like, for example, for Christmas, I'm really proud of this gift that I got her. It was a big, like, chorizo sausage with a knife for cutting it. Like a special chorizo knife.
I don't want to make you feel bad, so I'm not going to comment on that gift.
Honestly, it was brilliant. She said she tried some of the sausage and it was very good. And then I said, did you use the knife to cut it? And she went, nope.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But, you know, like the year before, just going with the theme here, it kind of bothered me when I was going back. Like, they have quite small bowls. And I like a big bowl of fruit at night. And I could never fit it all in their tiny little bowls. It annoyed me.
Before you carry on,
Yeah.
you are aware that these gifts are making you sound like a pretty self-centered human being, right?
No, because, right, let me finish. So I got her...
If this ends with you buying her bowls, I'm going to be disappointed in you.
But wait, Jack, just wait. Because I got her 2 really nice pasta bowls, right, part of a set, but also, she loves them. Like, every time I've been there since, I've clocked her using them. Like, I was there yesterday for reasons we'll discuss later. She was eating her lunch out of it. I think I changed her life with this gift.
I can't believe you bought your mum bowls as a present.
I mean, I obviously got other nicer things, but this was like a little like joke present, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like this was the joke present, Liam. Yeah.
Yeah. This was the joke present.
Got you.
Almost
That's
as
all right,
good.
then.
Almost as good as the time I got her a framed picture of me in a vest top that says Jesus on it with a picture of Jesus.
I mean, that was a good one.
Yeah. So, you know, In comparison, any gift now looks good.
I mean, to be fair, I can't complain. I mean, I was a child, so I wasn't involved in the present buying process when this happened. But one year, my dad, I think for my mum's birthday, he got like, because we were all kids, he went and got all these presents for her. And he bought proper ones and hid them. And then what he did was bought windscreen wiper replacements, a Red Hot Chili Peppers CD, because she doesn't like rock music particularly.
Okay.
Well, not anymore. And then it was some other piece of rubbish. And she nearly cried when she opened them. And then he had to quickly run and get the actual presents before she burst into tears in front of me.
Wait, so did your dad give her those presents pretending they were from you?
Yeah, pretending that they were the real ones, like windscreen wipers.
So she's like, oh, Jack, thank you for these windscreen wipers you've got wipers.
Me. Yeah.
That's amazing. To be fair, that does sound like something your dad would do, because I know now, because I spoke to him this week.
Yeah, you have. You've spoken to my dad.
On the phone, and it was a delightful conversation. If he's listening, it was a delightful conversation.
I'm glad.
I had fun anyway. Good. But it's not Father's Day, this is Mother's Day, so if only I'd got to speak to your mum as well.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate.
That's alright, maybe for Father's Day.
Next time you severely burn yourself, I can get her to give you advice.
I mean, I'd just like to clarify, the way you said next time sounds like one, that's happened before, and two, let's just hope it doesn't happen.
Well, never say never.
True, but I'm quite careful with fire. I have a healthy respect for it.
That's exactly what someone would say before they got severely burnt.
Yeah, I know, but I'm kind of like, because this is a Mother's Day special, I'm trying to say stuff that your mum would like.
Yeah, she loves dealing with burns.
Well, no, I imagine she would much prefer people to have, like, awareness of fire and be quite sensible about it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so, I know not to play with fire.
I've seen you try and light a barbecue.
Exactly. I'd also like to say, because it is Mother's Day and because my mum probably isn't listening, thank you for everything you do for me. I appreciate it.
My mum probably won't listen to this either, but yeah, thanks, Mum.
I liked how sincere you sounded.
Yeah, it's because I feel like you've guilted me into saying it.
Yeah, it sounded that way. Mine, yeah. I hope, sounded quite genuine and heartfelt.
Yeah, see, it probably did. Listeners will probably think it was, but I didn't think it was.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We've got the whole voice issue again, haven't we? Going all the way back to, like, early episodes.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Keeping on the theme of how good my mum is.
Right.
A couple of weeks ago, me and Kat went to London because one of my Christmas presents was 2 tickets to go and see The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
Okay, how was that?
It was good. It was interesting. The thing is, I haven't seen a lot of shows up London, but the ones I have seen, like Book of Mormon, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, they're like real lavish productions.
Yeah. And
amateurish is the wrong word, but like Curious Incident was a bit more independent, I guess. Like, if you think about it in like film terms, if we think Harry Potter, Book of Mormon, like blockbuster films, Curious Incident, more indie film.
Got you.
So it was good. I read the book like years ago when I was a teenager, I think, and I remember absolutely. I remembered none of it.
I didn't enjoy the book.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just found it boring, if I remember rightly.
Well, I remember the big like selling point of the book is that it's written from the perspective of an autistic person, so it's written how they would write it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the play is perhaps more accessible than the book because you're obviously watching, and there's other people going on, so it's sort of I don't know. It's maybe not as hard to get into as the book is.
Got you.
But yeah, it was good. Like the performers were all very good. And what they did with the actual stage itself was really interesting in that there wasn't like sets so much as it was all done with like, again, it's hard to describe without you having been there, but it was all like lights and like that, and like people would act as part of the scenery. Like if you had to like knock on a door and go through it, a person would act as the door, which I'm probably explaining in a way where it sounds terrible, but it did work really well.
Okay.
It was like a small...
honestly, to me, that sounds like utter tripe.
No, it was a small, like, cast, and they had, like several of them would have, like, different, like, a couple of roles each.
Yeah, like door, lamppost.
Yeah, exactly, chair.
See, now, I would think, if you were a small production, it would be easier to not hire people to be doors.
But they had other roles as well with, like, speaking bits. Just if they're not in this scene, you're a door now.
Is that not confusing when you're like,
there's
Sally, There's classic Sally. She's going to say something funny. Oh, no, wait, she's a door.
Honestly, the way it's done is in a way that you don't even really think about it as being odd.
I feel like I would think about it.
It's possible. But yeah, it was good. It was just different to what I've seen before.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I'm being deliberately a bit negative. It does sound quite interesting.
Yeah. So, thanks, Mother, for that present.
Thanks, Liam's mum.
That's kind of it for the mum-related stuff I've got. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I haven't got anything.
Alright. What else have we been up to, Jack?
Liam, got a Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
And Zelda.
Well, yeah, there's like hardly any other games available at the moment.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't think that's as big a deal as you think it is. So.
Oh, it's not a big deal for me at all because I'm not buying it. I would have just thought.
Yeah, but you were complaining about it, about the lack of games. You said you thought it was silly.
No, I wouldn't do that.
You definitely did.
That doesn't sound like something I'd do.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's a pretty good console.
That's good.
Like, I like the portable mode. That's super useful. Like, I've played it more undocked and in my hands than I have with it on the TV.
Is there like a huge difference?
What? Well, yeah. One mode, you are projecting it, onto a big TV.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like picture quality. How much is there a difference between the two?
I think it looks like slightly less quality when it's in your hands, but not like drastically.
Okay.
Like, as in, obviously when it's scaled up, it looks nice still.
Yeah.
But when it's in, it looks fine when it's portable.
See, the thing is, like, obviously, I've never played one, never seen one, never touched one, so I have no like hands-on experience. But I watched a fair few reviews of it when it came out on YouTube and stuff, and a lot of people, the general kind of consensus seemed to be that it felt like it had been rushed out.
See, I don't know where you're seeing that because
so, for example,
I disagree, I haven't seen that.
One of the things that I've seen as a big complaint is, so there's a screen, isn't there, that you can like the handheld part is a bit screen, yeah?
Yeah.
And they're saying there's a cradle for it, and because the screen has been made of, like, I think plastic instead of glass or whatever, it therefore is really prone to scratching when you put it in the cradle.
Right, no, but see, okay, here's the thing, right? Are you talking about, because there was that video that me, you, and Dan Palmer saw, which was like a montage of all the people with problems?
No, I didn't watch that video.
Oh, okay.
This was a review
here's my
I
logic,
saw.
Right?
Yeah.
If someone's screen doesn't scratch,
yeah,
like mine hasn't, I'm not going to make a video or tweet or do a review where I go, my screen didn't scratch. So the stuff you're going to hear most is going to be the negatives.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think that's an issue. I have been taking, like I said, I've been playing mine portably, which means that I'm taking it in and out of its dock constantly. Yeah. Because I take it out, and then I charge it in that dock. So I'm constantly moving mine. I haven't scratched my screen once.
That's good.
Like, the other issue that I've seen people have is the two little control things. You attach them to the side of your screen, but you can slide them into another thing that makes them act like a controller in your hands.
You can sort of clip them together, can't you?
Yeah, that's the thing that makes it into a controller, basically.
Yeah.
And then you get these little sort of caps that go on them if you're using them just in your hands.
Yeah, you can have one on each hand. I've again, another review was saying that that's a really good thing for people with disabilities and stuff, but the person who was reviewing it was saying they really struggled to like adapt to that way of playing with it.
Yeah, but then don't play it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
What? I mean, yeah, that seems like nitpicking.
No, it was like, them saying it's good that this is a feature, just not a feature for me necessarily.
Yeah, but that's not a complaint.
It's a positive. No, I'm saying it was a positive.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay. But then, so the other issue I've seen is people putting if you put the wrong cap on either controller, you can get it jammed on if you put it the wrong way up.
Right, okay.
But I haven't done that with mine, but my friend got one, and that was before that video and stuff had gone out, and I put one on the wrong one.
Yeah.
And I got it off really, really easily.
Well, that's good.
And I had jammed it on like I've seen people do. So I don't know. Again, that's another thing where I'm like, I don't know if people are doing it wrong or if I was just lucky. But to me, it didn't seem like that was as huge a deal as people were making out.
That's fair enough.
So I don't know. I always just wonder with things, when you see a lot of negatives about something like this, well, I do wonder how much of it is people being upset with the stuff that's gone wrong, or how many people are being upset because it's not what they wanted.
Yeah, well, how
many people are just being upset because that's getting views.
I watched a few reviews, and they were generally like, here's the positives, here's the negatives. And
yeah,
to be honest, like I said, the general consensus was, even though there are positives, the general consensus was that it felt like it had been rushed out.
Fair enough. I think those people are completely wrong then.
That's fair. Obviously, I'm saying like I have no hands-on experience with this because I'm not going to spend like £300 to play one game.
So when I said you didn't like the fact there were no games, you said that doesn't sound like something I would say, and it doesn't affect me because I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
What you actually meant to say was that is the one thing affecting me about the Switch.
Well, no, because even if they had other
I mean,
games,
you
I
literally
wouldn't
just
get
said
it.
the reason you're not getting it is that there is only one game,
I mean,
which is wrong.
It is
There's about
a reason.
4 or 5.
It is a reason. Like I was in the cinema the other day, and they were advertising Mario Kart for it. And then at the bottom, it was like Mario Kart's due out like April 28th. I was like, it's a month away. Why are you advertising that now? And then I realised it's because they've got nothing else to advertise.
I mean, chill out. What about films and trailers? They don't wait until a week before it comes out and go, oh, by the way, we're releasing this film.
In all honesty, I don't see a lot of like PlayStation, Xbox games being advertised, but it might just be because I don't sort of run in those circles.
Yeah, there's quite a few game advertisements. But then, to be fair, you don't watch like TV particularly,
exactly.
do you?
No.
So yeah, you're not going to see that many. You probably don't see a lot of things advertised that are
Yeah,
being
and I mean
advertised.
it's so rare that you see like a video game advertised at the cinema, and then when it's a video game that's not even out yet, I was like, well, what's the point of that?
Right. Well, that's insanely hypocritical.
Because it wasn't
of you as a
like it
film
wasn't
fan.
part of the trailers. It was like part of the like when
Yeah,
they're
the
advertising
adverts.
like the drinks and no, not the drinks and stuff.
Oh, Liam did a swear.
Yeah. So yeah. But I'm pleased you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
I do feel like, and I think we might have discussed this a little bit before, and I think you disagree, but I feel like Nintendo get given a lot of like leeway from people who like because Nintendo got them into gaming. People tend to be a bit more forgiving of Nintendo than perhaps like Sony and Microsoft.
You have said that to me before, and
Yeah.
I do fully disagree with you. I don't know where you get that from.
Just sort of general thoughts
Like
that I have
the
in the
fact
shower.
that you said everything you've seen, the fact that you said all the reviews and stuff you've read have been people saying overall it seems like it was rushed out. That
Yeah.
to me would imply that you haven't seen that many people
but
being like,
these
"Oh, give them
people-
leeway. It's Nintendo."
These people have still gone out and actually brought the thing, haven't they? Whoa.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, they have, and also that's what everyone does with the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Again, I missed those releases because I wasn't really like thinking of getting.
Yeah, but you didn't buy this
console.
one either, Liam. So all you're
No.
proving is that you don't rush to buy consoles.
Yeah,
The rest of the world does it to everyone. That's what I mean. I don't necessarily disagree that people give Nintendo leeway, but I think you're insane to assume that people don't give their console of choice leeway. Because what everyone does is you buy a console, right? And then
Yeah.
you want to, because you've spent so much money on it, no matter what console, you've spent a lot of money on it, no one wants to turn around and go, I made a terrible mistake and spent £400 on
Yeah.
a console that's rubbish.
Yeah.
So even if you got a rubbish console, I reckon most people would try and find the positives in it, which means they have
Yeah.
to give the company leeway, which means all game companies, like console companies, get that leeway.
And there we have it. That's why Jack's review of the Switch is so positive.
No, because you said it was people that got into gaming through Nintendo, and I didn't own a Nintendo 64. I had a PS1, and then I had a PS2, then I had an Xbox 360. So actually, Liam, I didn't get into Nintendo.
Did you have a Game Boy?
Yeah, that got me into portable gaming, not into their... You think a Game Boy stands... You think people got into console gaming through Game Boys?
Some did. I didn't have an
No,
N64.
nope. Not going to let you get away with some did. I don't think people bought a Game Boy and went, you know what, this makes me love consoles. I think they went, this makes me love portable gaming.
No, but maybe they were like, this makes me love Nintendo.
No,
Oh,
that's
maybe.
insane.
Well, no, because it's not like there's not like games that go cross-platform. You have certain games on Game Boy that also reappeared on consoles, like Mario, for
Oh,
example.
okay, well, if we're doing that, then the games that I owned on Game Boy that I played were Pokemon, not Nintendo, that's Game Freak.
It's only been
then
released
I
on
had,
Nintendo stuff, though, right?
Then I had Star Wars, which was not a great game, but I used to love. Formula 1 Racing, that wasn't a Nintendo license. I had did I have a James Bond game? Possibly. I think there might have been one on Game Boy that I owned. So, actually, Liam, I didn't own any Nintendo games on my goddamn Game Boy.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah, but that was your whole point, was that it made me love Nintendo. It didn't.
I'm not saying it made you love Nintendo. I'm saying the people that do love Nintendo, I think a lot of them, and I'm thinking this with no basis or research or anything, a lot of them have a lot of goodwill to it because they have history with Nintendo.
Yeah, and I think that assumption is fundamentally flawed.
That's fair enough. Have you got anything else to say on Zelda? Because I don't think you've discussed that a lot.
No, Zelda's really good.
That's good.
I think you would love Zelda.
The thing is, I've tried so many times with Zelda.
No. But the way this Zelda works compared to other Zelda games is totally different.
Okay. The thing
You
is,
would love it because you love going and like not
Exploring.
following the story and exploring everything, which this game is pretty much like you can follow the main quest, but it's set up a lot more like you're just in the world. There's where the quest is, but if you want to go and do all the other stuff, go do it.
yeah, I think with Nintendo, they would probably get my money if they implemented like the PlayStation trophy system or the Xbox achievement system.
Yeah, you've said this before. I don't want to have this discussion again because you know my opinions on it.
Yeah,
I think all the listeners do as well.
But here's the thing, Jack, right? For them to add that, it's not like that's going to affect your gameplay.
I'm not saying that I don't want it because it'll affect my gameplay. I just don't think they need it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if it's going to get... Because I never like to think of myself as a
I
unique
don't think
snowflake.
No. But this is the issue that we always come back to. Is again, you're making the assumption that there's millions of people out there who are like you and going, "I'm not buying this console because it doesn't have trophies."
I don't think that's why they're not buying it, but I think it would...
Right. Well, then they don't need to implement it.
I think it would maybe give people...
I don't think it would. I think that's
reason.
a completely ridiculous statement that you're making there. I think that's honestly insane.
Well, happy Mother's Day.
This is what the Kevster family's like, so this is fine.
Well, my family is a bit less argumentative.
Good. That means you won't be arguing this episode.
No, it doesn't. Did we do anything else?
I, Liam, am on holiday this week.
Oh, that's nice.
Have been for 11 days. Well, I will be for 11 days. Will not be in work. It's wonderful. I'm very relaxed.
Is that 11 working days, or is it you including weekends?
No, it's 7 working days, so then
Okay.
with the weekends.
It's still very nice, though.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But with that time, Liam, I have been watching The Walking Dead.
Oh, well, that's going to make some of our listeners very happy.
You and Mark.
I mean,
Kat, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. There's probably other listeners, maybe.
I don't think many people care that much, but
Nah.
I've finished season 6 and then made a deal with you where to replicate or to at least try to experience some of the waiting that everyone had with the year wait.
Yeah.
I have not watched any more for 2 days. It's now 3.
To be fair, it wasn't a year wait, it was 5 months, but still.
Oh, that's not even that long. What are you moaning about?
Oh, it felt long. The thing is, right...
Because the season finale of season 6, it is a cliffhanger.
Yes, and a lot of people complained about that.
What, that it was a cliffhanger?
Yeah, they got real bad backlash because it was a cliffhanger.
I don't think they needed backlash because
I think it's genius.
I don't know. We were having, because I said to you, I find it interesting. I don't have an opinion on what I'm about to say. I don't think it's particularly bad or good what they did.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that I'm going to try and phrase this. I don't know how to put it in words properly, so this might sound weird.
Okay.
It's interesting that a TV show, the whole premise of a TV show is you're in that world, and you're taking entertainment by watching this sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's weird that they use the real world in that they knew there was a 5-month wait. So they make a cliffhanger. This isn't specifically Walking Dead. This is anything that uses the cliffhanger endings.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that the whole premise is you're being taken into their world and basically, not living in your world for a little while.
Yeah.
But they use the real world to have an impact on the show. Because I could have just watched the next episode and not had that.
Yeah.
And that would have then been that would have been a different experience to everyone else.
Yeah, but equally, you think at some point down the road, someone will watch the show from the beginning to the end once it's all finished, and we'll have no gaps whatsoever.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So their then experience of that episode will be completely different to yours.
Yeah. And
that's kind of so I sort of get the anti-cliffhanger argument, but then at the same time, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that they do them. But it would be interesting to get someone's opinion who didn't have who just went straight into season 7.
See,
because I would be interested to see if they were well, that wasn't that good. Because
what I liked about the cliffhanger is that it keeps you thinking and talking about the show during the 5-month gap. Because basically, right, for those that haven't watched it, it ends with that someone is going to get hurt. You don't know who. And for people like myself and Kat and Mark, I think, who watched it sort of in real time, that then provided a lot of discussion for us as, theorising, and it was fun to talk about and kind of hypothesise what could happen next when the show's not on. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Because
here's the issue. So the issue specifically that I have with this cliffhanger is it like you can theorize all you want, but the premise of the cliffhanger was that he was doing it at random.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there like the discussion you can have is just who did he pick through chance, not like. Whereas it would have been more interesting if he'd either said something or there was some implication or some thing where you could then go, oh, who's he talking? Like, what was he implying with that thing? Because this, I can't see there being a discussion. Like I've said to people, you and Dan mainly, that I've caught up to that bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting there going, oh, I wonder who it is. All I said was, if it's these two characters, I'm going to be bummed out. And that's it. Like, to me, it has almost no impact because it's happened. It doesn't even end with, will it happen? It ends with him hurting that person. You just don't know who it was.
But so when we were discussing it, basically, we were kind of trying to figure out who it was by looking at the clues. So there's like a little line of dialogue right at the end. And we were like, well, surely that's got to kind of rule out this person and that person, surely. And the other thing you've got to think about is we've all read the comics as well.
Yeah, so you were then, because that's what Dan said, was people that read the comics were then like, well, I know who gets hurt in the comics. Yeah,
exactly. And we were basically discussing it more along the lines of, because what I think the show did really well with the last half of season 6 is that there were certain parts that were kept very close to the comics. Particularly that last episode. And for me, I think the show is at its strongest when it's drawing heavily from the comics. And there are some like unique things the show has done that they do really well, but I think it's always strongest either when they're doing what the comic does or when they do that, but then they also include some of their new elements into it to see how that sort of pans out.
Yeah.
So for us, it was a discussion of, right, do you think the show will kind of do what the comics did, or will it go its own way? And then you start kind of going along the discourse of, well, if it does this, what impact will that have to further storylines?
Yeah.
But again, so that's one of the things I was wondering, is if, for you, who hasn't got to that part in the comics yet, if that kind of lessens the impact. Because I know both myself and Kat, we found the finale incredibly tense because we kind of could anticipate to an extent what was coming.
Yeah.
But obviously we didn't know if it would stick or not.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it was tense. Like, they build a lot of tension in that episode anyway.
Yeah, I honestly think that's for me, one of the greatest hours of TV I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll need to see. Like, there are still issues with some of the stuff. Like, so I love The Walking Dead when it's being not realistic because it's a world full of zombies.
Yeah.
But like, because I loved this season. Like, this is going to sound like I didn't, but I really enjoyed season 6. I thought it was really good.
That's good.
But there are a couple of issues that happen in it that I was like, it almost felt like not cartoony. That's the wrong word, but just sort of like a little bit too much of a leap. Like
exaggerated.
Like when they get the RPG. And I was like, really? Like, that's fine. Having it is fine. It's when they then use it in a situation. And when that happened, I was like, oh, that just feels like such a, like almost like is it Deus Ex Machina?
Yeah. Like,
it felt a little bit too like, oh, we found this thing. And that is the perfect answer to this situation you're stuck in.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
That scene specifically sort of really yanked me out of the show again, where I was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah,
that's resolve it the way you usually do stuff in these sort of really, not dark, but like how do people resolve these situations?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had issues with the show. Like, the first season I loved, and then ever since, it was a show that I thought was okay, but I wasn't a big fan. And that was until season 6. Like, season 6 really turned me around with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's still kind of issues, but I guess for me, I had so many issues with so much else of the show. To have only a couple of issues this season was wonderful.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'm pleased you're kind of enjoying it, and you're catching up now. So when are you allowed to watch the next episode?
It's been 3 days now, so today.
Okay, so you're going to let me know your thoughts?
Yeah, probably.
Good, I look forward to that.
What have you been up to this week, Liam?
I've had a real poopy week, Jack.
Why, buddy? What? I mean, I know because we've been talking about it.
But for the sake of the show,
let's pretend. Yeah, let's go in fiction.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your week, Liam?
For the last week now, Jack, an entire week, I have had no internet. Now, this wouldn't be as big of an issue if it wasn't for the fact that most of my week has been spent chasing my internet provider, trying to get it fixed. If they'd said day one, here's the issue, really sorry, we can't get it fixed until this date for this reason, that would have been absolutely fine, Jack. I wouldn't have been happy about it, but what could I have done?
Yeah, they have been messing you around.
Yeah, instead, I've had engineers come. They didn't know what the solution was. They had to book different engineers who didn't show up. I then booked another engineer, and my internet provider just decided to cancel that appointment because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? So now I'm waiting for a third engineer to be sent tomorrow. Maybe. Who knows? But the thing is, I have probably been spending hours every day talking to them, trying to get to the bottom of this. Because when they cancel, like, an engineer, they don't tell you they've done that, Jack. You have to ring up and just be like, just double checking the engineer's still coming tomorrow. At which point they say, nah, we haven't got any record of that.
Right, I still don't understand why the engineer got cancelled. Like, on their end. That's not me blaming you. Cause
no, honestly,
it's not your fault.
The reason I was given is because when I booked the engineer, I also lodged a formal complaint, and then last night, for whatever reason, they just decided to cancel that formal complaint, which also cancelled the engineer booking.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand how that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah, because assumedly your complaint is, I don't have internet.
Yes.
And you still don't have internet.
Yeah, and my complaint was also the fact that they were not keeping me up to date with the situation.
Yeah, right.
So they sort of proved their own complaint.
Yes, because they didn't keep you informed about the fact that they had cancelled the engineer.
Yeah. So it's just been like really, really frustrating. Trying to talk like I had a 25-minute conversation with someone who phoned me, and it's quite ironic now looking back. So Tuesday morning I booked the engineer for Thursday. Then Tuesday afternoon I had a 25-minute conversation where someone phoned me back to try and book an engineer for Friday. And I had to spend 25 minutes explaining to them, don't need it, already got one booked for Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's just been painful, Jack.
It's not ideal, mate.
It's when you work from home and you're kind of reliant on the internet, to pay the bills, really not good.
No.
So
also when it pushes back your podcast recording by like a week and a half.
Yeah, this is why this episode will be going up late. So I'm sorry, it's my fault. There's no getting around that.
Well, it's not your fault. It's your internet provider's fault.
Yeah, but it's my responsibility, I guess.
No, it's theirs.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if someone's going to blame one of the two of us, it's got to be me, not you, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But personally, I think blame said internet service provider.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, big shout out to Amanda, who last night started jumping on Twitter and having a go at them on my behalf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Because she made a very good point in that when I'm on the phone to them and they tell me that the Thursday engineer is cancelled and they don't know why, the response shouldn't have been, let's send you out someone on Friday. It should have been, we'll get an engineer sent out Thursday and get that rectified for you.
100%, yeah.
If they had good customer service.
Yeah, we appear to have accidentally cancelled this thing.
Yeah.
Because assumedly the reason they couldn't is that either all their engineers were then booked to do other stuff on Thursday.
Yeah.
But you were on that list first.
Exactly.
So I guess their logic is we don't want to upset two people.
Yeah, but equally...
But that's the wrong attitude because it messes you over.
And equally, you would think, have someone on standby for emergencies.
Yeah.
And send them. Because, looking at the way this situation has been dealt with and looking at their sort of Twitter feed and how many other complaints they've had, it's not like this is a one-off complaint. Like, a lot of people are constantly sort of having issues. So have a good few sort of standbys backed up ready.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think the biggest problem is this is like I think for the whole country like the main internet provider, and they don't really have much competition. Like you can go to a different provider, but they're using this company's lines still.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't have like competition, then of course you can just get away with whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean that's the same stuff that's going on in America with their big ones in it, like AT&T and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They just have such a monopoly that they go,
Yeah, who cares? What can you do? Because we could go to a different like company to provide our internet, but if there's an issue with the lines, that company then has to go to these guys, and you're just adding another person into the mix then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a frustrating week. But before my internet went, thankfully the night before, we guested on another show, didn't we?
We did.
On Atlantic Screen Connection, which is a podcast. Honestly, I'd recommend it because I genuinely do enjoy listening to them, and that's not just me.
They're really good.
Yeah, that's not just me sort of sucking up to them because they let us on their show. Like, I've been listening for months now, so if you're not, go give them a try. And the best episode to try is probably the one that we're guesting on, so go give that a listen.
I mean, I get, yeah.
Yeah?
It might not be a great example of what they usually do, because they had to have us two Muppets on.
Yeah, but you know, what I'm thinking is if that episode does really well, maybe they'll get us on again.
That's true, yeah.
So everyone who listens to this should go and listen to that 5 times, really.
Yeah, do it.
Because I think it's all well and good listening to it once, but there's bound to be things that you'll miss out on that it would benefit you going back for a second listen, if not more.
Yeah, it's like Arrested Development. Like, we had a lot of sort of subtle jokes that you're not going to get on your first time round, but second time you're like, oh, they were referencing the fact that later on they talk about this.
Or maybe even you won't get it on your second time. It's possible you'll never get it, but just keep listening and find out.
Keep going till you do.
Yeah. But no, it was a lot of fun being on the show.
It was, yeah.
We spoke in great detail about Kong Skull Island.
Yep.
So if you want to hear, like, our thoughts on that, that's the place to do it. Do you know what else we spoke about though, Jack? Godzilla. And how did you find that whole experience?
Good. How do you mean?
Well, you were very like, oh, buddy, you know, we've all got the same opinions. And then there's me, like a gimp, just sat here by myself.
Well,
like,
no.
I disagree with all of you.
To be fair, whilst the general opinions that I had with Jason and Lee were similar, like, us three didn't particularly like Kong, and we all liked Godzilla.
Yeah.
I think it was less a case of like 3-on-1 or Liam's wrong, because the reasons that Jason and Lee gave for liking and disliking them were very different to the reasons that I had.
That's true.
So like, instead of it being like, oh, look at Liam, the idiot who doesn't like this film, they were very much like, why didn't you like it, Liam? And then
they were like, oh, what a stupid reason.
I don't think they said. I think if anyone had stupid opinions on stuff, it was probably me.
Nah, I think you're fine. But yeah, I did feel like you got on great with them, and I was a bit like,
what do you mean? We all got on great.
Yeah, I just felt like I wasn't trying to be, but I felt like I was being difficult.
Oh yeah, but that's just you.
Yeah, that's true. But it honestly wasn't deliberate. So like,
no.
Listen,
I don't think you're
way.
deliberately difficult when we're doing this show. I just think you are difficult.
Possibly.
I don't think you're doing it on purpose. You can't help it. It's who you are.
It's true. But it was a lot of fun.
It was very good.
I'm hoping that we'll get them to guest on our show at some point.
Yes, definitely.
So keep your ears peeled for that.
Yep.
Also, if either of our mothers do happen to listen to this, how good is that we got to go on another show? Like, come on, that's pretty good, right? Be proud of us. Thank you.
I don't need to beg for my mum's pride.
I do.
That's sort of depressing for the Mother's Day episode.